Welcome back to Little Paula Horrors, people. I am Little Paul, and this is Little Paula Horrors. So, again, thank you for visiting my channel. Thank you for returning. If this is your first time, thank you for visiting. If this is not your first time, thank you for returning. I've had the opportunity to read some of your comments, and they have been very interesting, I must say. So keep on leaving comments, keep on liking, subscribing, sharing the channel with other people. It really helps out the show. I'm a small little channel on a huge platform. So if you guys can help out just with a like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you can, that helps very much. And hopefully you'll be able to give me some comments down below with the question that I'm going to ask you right now that has to do with the movie that I'm reviewing. Now, this is the question that I have to ask you. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. What would your reaction be if you were told that your child or one of your children that you have loved, that you have cared for, and that you have nurtured was in fact the son of the devil? Sorry, I did that for dramatic effect. Hopefully I didn't scare you too much. No, that's wrong. I didn't mean to scare you. And I hope I did. Anyway, this has to do with the actual movie that I'm going to be talking to you today about. And the movie that I'm going to talk to you today about is The Omen, the classic 1976 movie, not the 2006 remake. No, we're talking about the original, the OG here. So this movie basically was spawned from a conversation that actually took place 3 years before the movie actually came out. So a group of producers just came out and started talking about, the end of times, the Antichrist, stuff that people usually talk about when they get into groups of conversations or into a group conversation. Now, if anybody doesn't know anything or the referrals that they're making to right now, if you don't know anything about the Bible itself, because that's where the Antichrist comes from. It comes from the Bible itself. Is divided into 3 parts. So you have the Old Testament, you have the New Testament, and then you have the Book of Revelations. And in the Book of Revelations, it talks about the end of the world, and in the end of the world, it's reference about the rise of the Antichrist. So inside there, that's what they were referring to that specific part of the Book of Revelations. They had a conversation, and then at the end of the conversation, one of the producers said, "Hey, that sounds like probably something that I could, probably give as an idea for the making of a movie." So he goes and he speaks to a screenwriter by the name of David Seltzer, and then 3 years later, The Omen comes out. So that's the origins of the movie itself. And the cast is a fantastic cast. So we have Gregory Peck, who plays Robert Thorne. We have Lee Remick, who plays Catherine Thorne. We have David Warner. And David Warner, you guys know who he is. He is the person who played the teacher, or the thespian teacher, for Sidney Prescott in Scream 2. So he plays in this movie. This is a young version. So he plays Keith Jennings, who is the photographer. Then we have Billy Whitelaw, who plays the goosebump-inducing Mrs. Baylock. We have from there Harvey Spencer Stevens, who plays Damien Thorne, and Patrick Troughton, who plays the priest, Father Brennan. So we have the cast, and now we need the director. And they came up with the thought of asking. Back then, he was relatively new to being a director, but since then has come out with amazing films, iconic films that everybody knows. Richard Donner, the director. What can he not do? He has been able, what can he not direct? The man is so talented. He can direct horror movies. He can direct dramas. He can direct comedies, and he can direct superhero movies. He's done this all. So he took a crack at this, and he knocked this one out of the park. So this movie is considered to be a supernatural horror, but I consider it to be a supernatural psychological horror movie. And why do I say that? Well, in this movie, it keeps you guessing of, is this real or is this not? So the movie itself basically starts off with Gregory Peck back in 1971. He plays an ambassador. Okay, at that moment in time, he's an ambassador. Okay, and his wife is giving birth, and unfortunately gives it's a stillborn baby. And he's informed about this by a priest because in the hospital that his wife gives birth in, it's a Catholic hospital, so it's affiliated with the Catholic Church. So the priest approaches him and tells him that unfortunately his baby was a stillborn. However, there was another baby that was born at the same time where the mother died, and he could give him this child so as not to, so basically to save the mother or his wife any grief or any heartache for having lost a child or for having the child being born stillborn. He agrees, and the child is taken by him, brought to the wife. And then there is this beautiful montage that the 70s films are so well known for. A montage with beautiful music in the background, and you see pictures of the family together. They're on picnics, they're near the streams, they're playing with the leaves during the fall, and then during the winter there are other, picturesque scenes as well. So basically making you see this beautiful family with not a care in the world. And from there, we fast forward to 5 years in the future, in 1976, where he has become now, Gregory Peck has become the ambassador to the United Kingdom. And there is a priest by the name of Father Brennan who is following him. And from there, we have 111 minutes of sheer and utter terror. This movie plays with your mind because there are so many iconic scenes in the movie that keep you guessing on whether the child is the Antichrist or the child is not the Antichrist. And actually, that was one of the conflicts of the film. One of the conflicts was that Richard Donner had a conflict with the producers. So Richard wanted to create an ambiguous storyline where he would keep the audience guessing as to, is this the actual Antichrist or is it not? Where the studios and the producer were telling him, no, you have to tell them in this movie that this is the Antichrist and that Satan is the person that's pulling all the strings. So when you watch the movie, a little bit of each is sprinkled inside there, and it keeps you guessing. So he took it and he did a very good job into trying to make you figure out if this is actually the son of the devil, and you find it out at the end. Now, one of the main characters, there's two main characters. So David Warner, who plays Keith Jennings, the photographer, is vitally important to the storyline itself and is part of a very famous death scene, we'll call it that, in the movie. And then we also have Billy Whitelaw, who plays Mrs. Baylock. And she is terrifying. She is creepy, she is scary, and she has along with her a protector by the shape, it's a dog, it's a Rottweiler. So this dog is very protective of Damien. So from there, we have iconic scenes that range from the graveyard, that range from the birthday, that range from the hallway in the house, that go into the church, the famous scene that happens outside of the church. There are so many amazing scenes in this movie that just keep you guessing right up until the end. And that's why it plays with your mind, because you keep on guessing, what is this movie about? Not only what is it about, it's not mainly what is it about, but is it true that this is the son of the devil or not? So basically that's what I'm trying to say, is that this movie keeps on makes you think, is this movie telling you straight up that this is the Antichrist, or is it keeping you guessing up until the time that you figure out if it is or if it isn't? So that's where it plays with your mind. So this movie is also accentuated, the terror is also accentuated by the musical score by Jerry Goldsmith. And Jerry Goldsmith won an Academy Award for the score of this movie. And it was one of the first times that a horror movie was given or won an Academy Award. So that will go down in history as, a horror movie that won an Academy Award. And he actually made 2 soundtracks. He made one, which was the original that has 12 songs in it. And then he made one, which is called the Deluxe, which there are 20 songs in it. So the music adds to it. From the beginning of the opening credits to the end of the movie, it just terrifies you because the music is so eerie and creepy and scary. It just really delivers and increases the terror that you feel within this film. And the cinematography, the lighting is great. The acting is really, really solid amongst the cast. Richard Donner just basically takes you on a journey. He does. He takes you on this psychological journey of making you think, and it terrifies you inside your head. And just to let you know, this is something that I would like to give you as an advice. Do not watch this movie with the lights off. Don't. It'll unless you want to really scare the pants out of yourself, watch it with the lights off. But I learned very, very, I've watched this movie a couple of times. So I watched it once with the lights off, never again. No, I will just keep on. If I ever watch it again, lights on. So this movie, as I mentioned before, came out, or if I did not mention before, it came out, actually, no, I did not. So the movie was made, it started filming on October the 6th, 1975, and it wrapped up on January 9th, 1976. And the movie came out on June the 25th of 1976. On a budget of $2.8 million, it grossed over $61 million at the box office, which in today's standards would be $16 million to make and $333 million at the box office. So again, the movie came out to great reviews. It did really great at the box office. The critics liked it. The fans enjoyed it. And it was all because of the fact that Richard Donner took the script and just brought it right into your head. It's like you're walking through, you're living, it's like you're in the movie watching everything happening because you're questioning yourself. You're questioning to yourself, is he trying to tell us that he is, or is he telling us that he isn't the Antichrist? And then at the end of the movie, the revelation, quote unquote, pardon the pun, the revelation is made, and you find out at the end of the movie. I won't spoil it for you. So basically, that's how the movie brings you about the journey, and it's really a great movie. It checks all of the boxes, and it's an incredibly enjoyable horror movie because it doesn't rely on gore. It doesn't rely on blood for the frights. There are frightening scenes, yes, that makes you jump, but it really, really goes into your head. So that I found so interesting. It was very enjoyable. Mind you, it does scare you and it causes the intensity of the fear to elevate inside your system even more. But you know what? We're all human and we all react differently, but sometimes a good scare is just it. That's it. A really good scare. And this movie provides it in many, many, many ways. So with that being said, I would like to tell you, please share this channel, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, your family, with your colleagues, with your neighbors. Let them know about me and about my tiny little show on this huge, huge, huge platform. And hopefully you're enjoying my videos. And please let me know the answer to the question. What would you do? Or what would your reaction be if you found out that somebody came up and told you that your child was the son of the devil? Think about that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, okay? So again, I would like to say thank you very much for visiting my channel. And until the next time, enjoy the show.